Good morning, everybody. Come on in. We are just getting everything set up for you guys. Let's see if I can get you guys live here. Good morning, Pam. Let's see. Here we go. I just want to make sure I can see you guys set. Perfect. Let's see if I can get you guys live here. Good morning, Pam. I'm like, I hear my voice. Where's my voice coming from? I couldn't figure it out. Good morning. Good morning. Hi, guys. Okay, let's see if I can get you zoomed in just a tiny bit. Whoop, that's a lot of bit. Let's see if that works. Give you some more viewing area. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. How has everybody's week been? There we go. Let me just move this a tiny bit this way. Let's see if that works better. Perfect. All right, guys. Well, good morning. We are going to be working on two projects today. We're going to be working on a badge reel as well as a fall table decor. So I'm going to show you how we can make some really beautiful fall table name setting, place setting, whatever you want to call them. So we're going to start off first with the badge reel, and we're going to kind of be hopping between the two projects today. There's a little bit of dry time that is involved, so we'll kind of be hopping back and forth. Okay, so first we're going to start with our badge reel. So we've got our Christmas snack badge reel. It says torn between looking like a snack and eating one. Now this is the pre-printed decal that comes with the badge reel. If you don't want to purchase the pre-printed decal, we do have a free SVG that you can download and cut those vinyl cut files and layer them and all that goodness. All right. Now, for the very first thing, we're gonna need to know how to decide which side is the front and which side is the back. The easiest way I have found is to put the decal or your cutout vinyl right on top of your acrylic blank here. And you're gonna hold it up to a light source. You're gonna be looking from the back through it, and you're gonna be able to tell if it is on the correct side. If you don't feel like it lines up correctly, just flip the blank over and try the other side. I'm just gonna do it right over here by some light. Okay, so this is the front side of my acrylic blank. Yes, it is pretty darn warm here in Florida as well. The humidity has subsided a tiny bit, but it's pretty warm, and it was raining this morning like crazy. Okay, so here's the front of our acrylic blank. We're gonna turn it over, and we're gonna be decorating the back side to start. So we're going to take this brown paper off. Now, when we ship these blanks, they have this brown paper on them, but it's just to protect the acrylic blank itself so it doesn't get scratched, dings, nicks, whatever, while it's in transit to you. So we're just going to take this brown paper off. Now, we just go right under the layer of the brown paper. You can do this with your nails. This is called a weeding pen, which has like a little needle here at the end. You can do it with like your Cricut pick tool. There's plastic razor blades you'll see I use in some of my videos. So lots of ways to get this brown paper off. I know it can sometimes be tricky. Yeah, I bet, Pam. I bet. Like this time of year, it should definitely have cooled off by now. Okay, so we're going to be using this beautiful red glitter. Now, this is by the company Spellbound Rose. They are at www.spellboundrose.com. And this is the holographic ultrafine 0.002 in the color Checkmate. And it is this gorgeous red, like ruby slipper color. I absolutely love this color. Let me take the lid off and give you an even better look. Look at that, you guys. She is stunning. Just this beautiful ruby red slipper color. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put a piece of paper down. That way I can catch any little glitter that might fall off. And today we're going to be working with a lot of different methods. Now you can use Mod Podge, or you can use Premium Decoupage. This is by Aleene's. They are the makers of Tack It, if you've used that before. Both of these work fabulously. Either one, it doesn't really, I haven't noticed a difference. Later on when we go to our next project, I'll show you 2 projects that I used with one with each, and you'll see that they look, in my opinion, the same. So we're going to go ahead and we'll just use some good old Mod Podge today. I feel like more people probably have this on hand than they do the Aleene's Premium Decoupage, but both will work perfect. It is a beautiful color, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a foam brush. You can also just use like your little silicone brush, I guess, if you wanted. You probably just use your finger. We're just putting a nice little thin coat onto our acrylic blank here. I just hold it down with my finger here, and I'm just painting on this nice thin coat. Now, the main goal is to get the little sticky glueness everywhere. And once you feel like it has been completely covered, we're going to give it a good, like, minute just to get tacky. Now, the longer you let this sit, if you wait, let's see, what does it say? Maybe 2-3 minutes. It's going to get even more tacky. What does it say here? Apply a thin layer, dry for 15 to 20 minutes between coats. So we're going to let it sit for about 2-3 minutes here just to get a little bit tacky. And then I'm going to show you how we apply the glitter to it. So just give it a couple seconds here. Very similar to when we're doing the Elmer's glue. We need to give it a little bit of time. Okay, so let's see. Thank you. Good morning, guys. Okay, so we're just giving it some time to dry. If you're just hopping in, we're using Mod Podge. You can also use like a Premium Decoupage. We painted on a thin coat, and I'm just giving it like, I don't know, 1 to 2 minutes to get tacky. Yeah, it's getting there. Give it a couple more moments. Just blow it. Good morning. Thank you, Pam. Okay, so that should be good enough. We're just trying to get it where it has a couple moments. If you feel like that's not long enough, you could always bust out like your heat gun or a blow dryer, or just give it some time. But I think that's plenty of time for what we're working on. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to use our little pinchers, and we're going to pinch some of this glitter. Now, a little bit goes quite a long way. So just grab some, and we're going to sprinkle it right on top here. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're just kind of distributing it around the blank. We're going to do a little bit more than that. That's almost enough. Just a little bit more. I'm just distributing it into those little areas that don't really have that much in it. So that should be enough. And now we're just going to go ahead and rub this glitter into that sticky, tacky Mod Podge. Just gently rubbing it. We're not trying to like shove it into it. We're just kind of spreading that coat out amongst the top here. Okay, and we just really want to make sure that everything is covered. If you have an area that doesn't have enough, just push some more up into that area. Okay, and then we can tap off any extra. If you feel like there's too much in an area, you can give it a nice little gentle rub and tap a little bit more off. Just giving it a nice gentle rub. Okay, so here is what we're working with. Now you can see over here, there's little areas that don't have a good coverage. I can kind of pick some up and tap it into that little area. But if there's no glue there, it's not going to really stick to it. So don't stress out about it. Just kind of try to tap it into that little area. Sure, good enough. It still has a little bit right there missing, right there. Not to worry, because we are going to do a second coat. So now we're going to go ahead and set this to the side while we move on to our next project. And in a couple minutes, maybe 15 minutes or so, we'll come back and we're going to add a second coat onto this bad boy. So we're just going to kind of set him to the side for now. Good morning. Hi, Julie. Welcome in, sweetheart. Now, there's not much left here. You can, if you want, just kind of crumble it up a little bit and put it right back into your container. Not much waste at all. We're going to put the lid back on because knowing me, I'll end up hitting it and spill it everywhere. So for now, we'll set the paper and this red glitter to the side. And then when we come back to that project, we'll be able to open it up and use it again. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome in, guys. We are working on 2 different projects today. Simultaneously, we're going to be going back and forth between the 2 projects. The first one we are working on that you just saw is our Christmas snack badge reel. We're doing some red glitter on the back. And now we're going to start the second project. So this project is a little bit different. I've never made this with you guys, and I've been kind of experimenting with it all week. It does have a couple steps to it. So we're going to use the magic of lives for me to be able to show you the steps. As in, I did prepare it. It's going to be kind of like I put it in the oven and look, it came out, it's done. So that's what we're going to work with. Now, what we're going to work with is a circle. You could use any of our shapes to do this. The circle just happens to be what I decided to work on, but any shape will work great for this. So you're going to need an acrylic blank shape. That's the first thing. You're going to take off the paper off one side, whatever side you want to do this project on, and then I'll show you how we end up decorating the opposite side as well. So we're going to take the brown paper off one side. Oh, I didn't really get it, did I? There we go. Okay, so we've got the brown paper off. Next thing we're going to do is you can go buy napkins. Now these ones I got at Hobby Lobby. They were $4.99, but they were 40% off, so they're closer to like $2.50, $3. So I paid $3 and I got 50 of them. Now for this size, I can make 4 ornaments out of each sheet. So this could essentially make 200 ornaments. So one package will go a long way. I do suggest looking at like maybe Dollar Tree or anywhere fancy for beautiful napkins. Now these can be fall, they could be literally whatever pattern you want. The main important thing is that they are 2-ply, and I'm going to show you how that works. So we're going to pull a napkin out. Here's the napkin. We're going to unfold it, and you'll see that the back is white and then the front is this beautiful pattern we love. So the back here actually pulls away. You'll see that there's another ply. Let me see if I can show you up close. See, there's another ply. So we're going to pull that ply off. Okay? And this we don't need. This is trash. Okay, so now we have our napkin here. And we're going to cut it up. I like to just cut it along the 4, and then I can make 4 out of each napkin. That's basically what I decided to do with them. I'm sure if you had smaller items, you could go smaller if you wanted. You might, if you were doing a badge reel, like a pumpkin badge reel or something, you probably could get like 2 out of each of these squares. So you could probably get 8 total instead of 4, but just depends on how big your acrylic blank is. But I found that cutting them into 4 worked best for these 3-inch circles. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy Saturday. We got through another week. Okay, so I'm just going to take one of these bad boys, and here I have my circle. So I've got my little napkin square, and I've got my acrylic blank circle or whatever shape you want to use. And then we're going back to our Mod Podge and our premium decoupage. Now, like I said earlier, these are same in my book. I've tried these on numerous items. They essentially come out the same. This one's by Aileen, so if you have tack it over and over again, that's the same brand. Both will work beautifully, so totally up to you. I'm gonna stick. We'll go with the decoupage since we did the Mod Podge on the other one, just to switch it up. So here we go. We're gonna open it up. Okay. Now, if you have a decoupage or a Mod Podge and it's been sitting there for a while and you haven't used it, make sure to give it a good shake. It does kind of separate and it might get gunky along the top, which is pretty easy to clean off with just like a wet rag or whatever. But give it a good shake to really make sure that all those components are mixed before we start this project. Okay, so we're going to put our little napkin up here to the side. We've got our decoupage. Again, I've got that foam brush. I'm just going in and kind of wiping it off. We don't need a ton, just a little bit on there. And again, I'm just gonna put a nice thin layer onto this acrylic blank. And you'll see it's not a heavy layer. I'm just kind of a nice thin layer, and I'm just kind of brushing it so that the strokes are kind of in the same direction. It's not lumpy, it's not bumpy, it's just a nice thin layer. It's not thicker in one area, less in another. Just kind of try to get it as flat and even as you can. Okay, now while it's still wet, we're not gonna like wait for it to get tacky or anything. We're gonna take a look at our napkin, and we're gonna decide what we really wanna focus on. If we want more of the sunflower or maybe more of the pumpkins, whatever you wanna do. Kind of give a visual of that, and then also keep in mind where the hole is. I like to put it at the top center so that when I'm placing this down, I can kind of mentally imagine where the hole is in relation. So I'm going to try to get these 3 beautiful pumpkins kind of like in the centery area here. So I'm just going to use my finger underneath to kind of guide where the end of the blank is. So we'll try our best. Here we go. Perfect. Now I will tell you this thing about this is that once you put it down, you can't really move it. So lay it down, and you're just gently going to take your finger as you see, and I'm just pushing out any bumps, lumps that are kind of behind the napkin. I want it to lay as flat onto my blank as possible. But don't stress, because if you start to push it or manipulate it too much, you could tear the napkin, or it kind of will start to like bubble and pull away from the bottom, which isn't too fabulous either. Okay, so now that we have the napkin on there, good morning, Mary, good morning. We're gonna let it dry. Typically, I let it dry for about maybe a couple minutes, not very long, just enough that I know that this is on there and that by touching it, it's not gonna come like falling off. So I'm just gonna kind of put it to the side. And we're going to come back to the badge reel. We're going to switch back to that gear. And then we'll come back to this one in a couple moments, okay? So let's set that one to the side. And let's go back in with our red glitter and our badge reel. Here we go. Let's open our red glitter again. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us this morning. We are hopping between 2 projects this morning, so we are working on a Christmas badge reel and a fall table decor. Okay, so here is what we're looking like. It's looking okay so far, but you can definitely tell that there are spots here that are not going to be great coverage, and so when I pull the brown paper off, this would be pretty translucent and wouldn't have great coverage. So we're going to do a second coat on it to make sure it's going to look fabulous. Hi, Leanne. Welcome in, sweetheart. Okay, so again, I'm going in with my brush, and I'm just going to put a nice thin coat over it. Now, when you're adding this coat, you don't want to like brush it per se. You kind of almost want to like tap it. So I'm just going to like tap it into the glitter. Now, once I've got that little coat on there, I can gently kind of brush it along the top, but I don't want to push too hard and move that red glitter underneath around from where it is. So I'm just trying to really saturate it with the decoupage, but also not move the red glitter around. So I might put like a little bit there, and then like you'll see I'm just kind of tapping it out to the areas, and then I can kind of slowly, not really drag it, but I'm just dragging the excess from the top of it, like because it's a little thicker, I'm just dragging the little bit of the top layer of that decoupage versus touching the red glitter. Okay, a little bit up here, perfect. Okay, great, great, great. Now, again, I want to make it as smooth as possible. I don't want to have like areas that have a ton of glitter and areas that have hardly any. So I'm just kind of pulling some of that off so it lays more evenly. Perfect. Okay. We're going to set that brush to the side. Again, we're going to give it about a minute or 2 to get tacky. That will help adhere the little glitter better. So just giving it a couple moments. I'm actually going to grab my heat gun to speed this process up a little bit. So just like this, and I'm gonna hit it for like, I don't know, 10 seconds, very little. So give me 1 second. And I'm just doing this off camera because my gun doesn't reach that, my heat gun doesn't reach that far. Okay, so I'm just gonna take it and I'm just gonna heat up this little top part for 2 seconds. It's gonna be a little loud. All right, I think that should be good enough. I'm not trying to dry it, I'm just trying to activate the stickiness. So just if you need a little bit of a cheat to go ahead and move along the process, just a little bit of heat or a blow dryer, like you saw, maybe 10 seconds or so, not too long. Then you can tap it. Yeah, okay, I can see there's plenty tackiness to it. Okay, again, we're gonna pinch it and just kind of sprinkle on top. Perfect. Okay, and we can just kind of gently push it into place with our finger. And I'm just pulling from some of the bigger piles of glitter and gently tapping it and kind of pushing it into the Mod Podge, or the decoupage. Okay, turning it. Now this time, instead of like tapping it all off, I think, well, no, I think I should tap it off. I was gonna say, I think I'll just let it stay on there, but I think I probably should tap it all off. Okay, almost there, just moving around. I need just a little bit more on the edge there. There we go. Perfect. Okay, and then I'm just tapping one last time, really kind of pushing that glitter into the decoupage. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, tap, tap. Okay, perfect. And now we can kind of tap any excess off over here. Looks like there's a little area right here that's missing some. Perfect. All right, now look at that second coat in comparison. I mean, so much better coverage, looking stunning. We love it. Okay. So now, now again, we're gonna set this to the side. We want this layer of Mod Podge to be completely dry before we decide to coat it with UV resin. So we wanna make sure that it is 100% dry. What can happen is it can create kind of like mold or like water, like a between moisture, I guess you would say, between the layers of the UV resin if the Mod Podge is not completely dry. So keep that in mind. You really need to let it fully dry. And you can use like your heat gun or whatever to assist, that's fine, but just make sure it's really, really dry. Okay, so let's clean this glitter mess up and we'll move back to our fall project. Okay, all the red glitter's gone. Perfect. Okay, so we're moving back to, let me get my towel so I can dry that. Perfect. Okay, so now we're moving back to our little napkin project here. Now that it's been sitting for about 5 minutes or so, we can go ahead and work on the next step. Good morning. Hi Heather. So I dropped some about 2 weeks ago, and I have some more coming out probably, I would say this week. I've got about 20 designs or something that I've created. I just have to load them up to the website. So keep an eye out. We will definitely be dropping some more very shortly. Hi TJE. Good morning. Good morning, Alicia. Okay. So we've got that on there. If you're just jumping in, this is a circle acrylic blank. We removed the brown paper and we added a coat of decoupage and put this napkin on top of it. Now the next step is going to be to add more decoupage. So we're gonna just dip our brush in, and again, we're just going to be gently coating it. You wanna make sure that we're not really pulling hard on it, and once you've kind of gotten an area, I would say leave it alone. Like, don't go back and touch up this area. It is fine. You're just wanting to put a nice little coat on it, but the more you play with it, the more fragile the napkin gets. So just be mindful, like, we're not trying to make this perfect, just a nice thin coat covering everything. Okay. I think a little bit right there, and I think that's it. Okay, so that is what we're working with. Get some of this off the edge here. Okay, so we can put this to the side. Got a little Mod Podge everywhere. Okay, now we can set this to the side. Good morning, Rebecca. Good morning. We can set this one to the side, and with the, help of TV magic, I will show you what happens next. Let me see if I can get my hand under it. Woo. Hang on one second. Let me just try to lift it up. There we go. So I lifted it up, and I'm just going to put this to the side, and with the help of overnighting projects, here is some results. So I did a couple of them. Like I said, I wanted to show you the difference between a couple different things. So first things first is choosing your acrylic blank. So for this blank here, I chose a red acrylic blank, and as you can see, because the napkin is thinner, you can see through the pumpkin here, and it's cool. It gives it kind of like this like orangey red with white tints. That's okay. You can definitely be okay with that, but I definitely will say behind whatever color of acrylic blank you choose may show through. So keep that in mind with whatever project you're doing. So this was one of the first ones I did. I used the Mod Podge, this one, the glossy luster, and this is how it looks when it's fully dry. Now here is another one I did. This is on an orange acrylic blank. You can see really how beautiful these orange pumpkins ended up being, and then there's that white pumpkin that now just kind of looks like an orange pumpkin with a little hints of white. This was using the Aleene's decoupage. And so I don't know if it's the color or what it is, but I do think that the glossiness on this Aleene's one is much nicer. So that's where we're at with that one. And then here is the last example. This one was done on a yellow acrylic blank, and I really tried to focus on the sunflower more, and it just made these two orange kind of pumpkins brighter. Again, this one was done with Aleene's. As you can see, there's definitely texture to it, which either A, you love, and you could just leave it like this, or B, if you don't love it, you can add a coat of UV resin on top of it and get that beautiful glossy finished coat. Now I'm going to show you how I cleaned up the edges and how I got it to fit perfectly. So let's move into that next process. I think I'm going to work with this one because this one is stunning. I love it on the yellow, and the one we just did live that's drying over here is on orange. So I'll show you guys all of the results when I get there. Okay, so next, so we've got our little paper here. We're just gonna kind of cut around it. It doesn't have to be super close. We're just cutting off any extra. Perfect. Okay, and this little bit we can just toss in the trash, or maybe you use it again for another one. Who knows? And with this one, let me see if I have the examples. So with this one, I cleaned out the hole before. So once I added the coat of the decoupage, I took my pick tool or a needle and I poked it in there, and I just kind of went in circular motions like this to kind of clean it out, and then push any extra like napkin into the hole and kind of have it glue against the walls, or little bits of it actually came out. Whereas this one I have, and I did the same on this one too. I pre-did the hole, and then this one I did not do the hole. So I figured we'd try together to see, once those two coats are on there, if the hole is easy to put out or not. So what I'm using is, I'm using napkins. These are 2-ply napkins, and the most important thing is that they're 2-ply. So let me see if I have one here. I haven't pulled apart yet. I think this one. So when you open the napkin, you'll see that it has like a second. This is what you want to pull off, and you just want to use this front. And I got these ones at Hobby Lobby. You get 50 napkins. They were 40% off, so I think they were $30 for 50 of them. And you can do 4 3-inch circles per napkin, or probably multiple badge reels as well. And like, you know, like I said, it doesn't have to be a fall theme. It could be literally any napkins you see whatsoever. Okay. So next, we're going to take our needle and we're going to try to clean out this hole. Oh yeah, that's super easy. It goes through pretty easy. So I'm just sticking my pick in there and just kind of going in circular motions. And yeah, that cleaned up super easy. I can go the opposite way if I want, but no, it just kind of stuck into the hole there. It actually looks perfect. And we're going to be putting a string through there, so even if there is any little bits in there or whatever, it will clean right up. Okay, so next up, we're going to get crazy. We're going to use some fire. So we're going to go ahead and light all of this on fire, this little bit of edge. And what it does is it just comes right into the exact contour shape. So if you have, let's say, a pumpkin shape or a peach shape or a tomato or whatever shape you end up going with, by lighting it on fire like this, it'll go right into all the little contour nooks and crannies of your item. So you really can do this on almost any shape as like a fun alternative to like a backing. Okay, so we're gonna light it on fire. I'm just gonna light kind of the edge here, and we're just gonna encourage it kind of around. Oh, it almost made it. And there it is. So this is now what your edge is looking like. It's got a little bit of crispy crunchies on there. Not too bad, but it has perfectly gone to the shape. My office door just opened, and I was like trying to talk to somebody, and then I looked down, and it's just my dog. Hi, baby girl. She's like, what are you doing, Mom? Okay, so now I just took like a baby wipe and just kind of cleaned up the edges. That was my first step. Oh, like a wet paper towel to get any of that little charred edge off I can. No, I can't hold you right now, sweetheart. Go lay down. Okay. Just kind of cleaning it off. Just any that'll like really flake off. That's more like ash than actual paper. Perfect. Okay. Perfect. Okay, let's clean this up. Great. Do with my, oh, it's right here. I was like, where did the towel go? Okay, so next up, we still have a little bit of stuff around the edges, which kind of looks cool, but if you don't love it, you can just take some sandpaper. You lost me at fire. So I just grabbed some fine grit sandpaper, and I'm just sanding the edge. Now what you're doing is you're pushing down almost at like a 45-degree angle away from the blank. So I'm pushing like this, push, push, to really round out that edge and get it right to the edge there. So I guess if you did a more intricate shape, this might be a little bit harder to clean up now that I'm thinking about it. But with the circle, it's pretty easy to just go in here, hit it with this little bit of sandpaper, and clean up this edge. So I'm just going around. Down. I'm just sanding off the edge. There it goes. It might be time for a new piece of sandpaper next time. I think I'm about to use this one up. Yeah, my sandpaper is like dead. Sorry, guys. All right, well, we get the point. My sandpaper's dying on me. But now, if you keep sanding, my sandpaper's had better days. Okay, so you're just gonna keep sanding it until, and if it comes up like that, that's fine. We could just kind of curl it over the edge here and put it down with some Mod Podge. Perfect, okay? So now you've got it cleaned where it's nice and cleaned up. Okay, now the next step is, like I said, you can either you can add that coat of beautiful UV resin and give it this beautiful glossy finish, or B, you can go in and we can just give it another coat. Thank you, babe. We can give it another, look at it, more sandpaper. We can give it another coat and we can just be done with it in the sense of just lay another coat of Mod Podge onto it. So that's the option. Now we've got this one where we've added our coat of UV resin. Yeah, you don't have to, I don't think you have to do like the whole fire thing. I think you could literally like just, yeah, like you're saying, cut it closer and then just sand it instead of lighting it on fire if that doesn't make you feel comfortable. We used Premium Decoupage by Aileen, or you can use Mod Podge as well. Either one works great. So we put a coat down onto the blank, and then we let that dry, and then we put a coat over the napkin, and we're going to let this dry. And here is what that looks like when that's done. It has this like beautiful glossy sheen. We cut the paper down close. We lit it on fire to really get it close. And then we went ahead and we sanded the edges. And now we put a coat of UV resin on the front. So now what we can do is we can flip it over, and let's go ahead and finish decorating this one. So we're gonna decorate the back of it. Now you could put, honestly, any SVG you could think of on the back of this here. I think I'm gonna go with the black, honestly. So I cut one out of black. I haven't weeded it yet, so let's weed it together. Just pulling out all the little decals. Oh, fix that in a moment. Get over there, Mr. V. Okay. Now we'll pull the little letters out. Here's a little stick. It'll go kind of like right here. Sure. I pulled this design off of Creative Fabrica, grabbed myself my silhouette and cut it out of black vinyl. You could use this with any type of design. It doesn't have to be this design. Like I said, it depends on, you know, what theme you're going for. If you're not doing fall, then maybe this isn't, you know, the design for you. Okay, I'm just pulling out all these little baby pieces. We're almost done. All right, I think we got them all. Yeah, without the fire, right? So cute. Okay, let's see, anything else up there? No, looks like it's all weeded out. There might be something right at the stem here, but I don't know if it's coming out or if it's just staying in. We're gonna leave it in. Okay, let's grab some transfer tape. Transfer this. Now my idea behind this was kind of like a fall table setting, so you could make these and add whoever's coming to your party's name on them. So instead of just saying like fall vibes, you could say, you know, fall vibes and then Leah or Leah Woodward, or, you know, whatever you wanted to put on to these. And I just think they're like a really cute, fun way to not only decorate your table for fall and Thanksgiving when people are going to be coming over, but also a cute little ornament that they can take home and hang up around their house. So we've got that on. Now, typically I would put a coat of UV resin over on top of all of this. So let's go ahead and do that. Make sure you are putting your mask on, guys. Be safe when using chemicals. Okay, so we're just gonna add a clear coat of UV resin right on top of that. I'm just putting a nice dollop right in the middle. And we're gonna use our little brush here. In fact, I'm gonna use a bigger brush since this is a bigger blank. We've got our bigger brush here. And we're just gonna spread it out. And we're just getting a nice thin coat on top of all of these beautiful pieces of vinyl. Ooh, I had cut it out in black and white, but I think I really like the black. It really stands out on the yellow. I was worried that the white would kind of blend it in and you wouldn't be able to see it. So I'm glad we went with the black. Here's the white, so this one will just go to the side. Maybe I'll put it on one of the other ones we have over there drying. Okay, one time right around the edge. Make sure you got everything coated. Okay, we're gonna pop any of those little bubbles you might have with a little bit of heat. Just light it up here and briefly across the top, just like that. Checking it for any last touch-ups we may have. She is looking stunning. Little bubble right here. We got it, we got it. Looks so good. Perfect. Okay, we're gonna grab our UV lamp and we're gonna put the whole thing under our UV lamp here. Now I'm gonna turn my lamp up to 36 watts. That's where I like it. I'm gonna put the brush as well as the acrylic blank under the UV lamp. Now, since we use the fire, I do give it about 10 to 20 seconds to cool down before I put it under this lamp. That way those bubbles that are still popping have plenty of time to pop and won't pop mid here and give us little peck or little pock marks in our finished project there. Okay. Love the idea to add cork. Yes! Oh, you could make some stunning posters with this. I love that idea. I might have to try to throw together some posters using these, and we can make like a fall coaster set. That would be so cute. Yes, Sherry. So that is my idea. What I got was some like twine like this. And then I also got some beads, and I thought we could like add some beads on, some twine, and really make it cute so that they would want to take it home and display it and keep it. And like I said, even if you don't put like the person's name, you could put like the date, like 2024, and you can make them all the same and sell them like as a set, like maybe a set of 8 or 10 at like your like vendor events for people to buy like for settings and to give away to their guests. Such a cute idea. Yes, so cute. Yes, like to go with a cup, like so many good ideas. So this is a really cool, interesting way to go about using other sorts of materials that are cheap, that are easy to find. Head over to your Dollar Tree, your Hobby Lobby, or whatever. There's so many cool looking napkins out right now. And very reasonable. I mean, $3 to make 200 of these would be, you know, super cheap. Or I like the idea of using only a couple of them. Like let's say you're going to have 10 guests over. You only need to use 3 napkins to make those. And then the rest of the napkins you could actually use for the meal. And then you have like this really cool like matching item, matching decor of their name place setting along with the matching napkin. Even maybe getting the matching plates, you know, if those are available. But yeah, really like making this like a whole matching set where it's like, oh wait, you didn't just dress the table, like you took the time to make like coordinating things. So I think that's really cool. Oh, got something on my hand. Okay, here we go. Let's take a look. So this one says fall vibes, and then on this side we've got those beautiful pumpkins. So let's finish it up with a little bit of the twine here. Trying to think how I'm just gonna cut a little bit up. I think we are going to take it and we're gonna fold it in half like we traditionally do. Put the 2 ends through the front here and then put it through this hole here like that. And then I think we can string on our beads if we're able to do that. Let's try. I think we might need to do like 1 string at a time because these are thicker strings. Yes, that's what I was thinking. Like, if you didn't need the fire part, which I really don't think you need, I think you could probably just cut it really close and just sand it or whatever. That's what I was thinking, that you could totally get the kids involved in this, like, project. So, you'll have to let me know if you can think of a way to get, like, around. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Okay. Well, then I'm going to have to use something better than this little bead needle. So we're going to get some, here we go. We're going to use some floral wire. If you have some of this, this works really well. If you don't have floral wire, you can always grab a paper clip. So same concept. And then we're just going to cut it off. Perfect. And now we can use this to pull the thread through, and it should be easier. So we'll just fold it in half, kind of creating a little needle. We'll put our string through the middle here, and we'll see if we can get it through these. These bead holes might be too small to fit this, but we will see. Sometimes you can get it through. There we go. Perfect. Okay. That's 1 bead. That's one string of 1 bead. So let's try to do the other string through it as well. Again, I'm just opening it up, putting the string in there and closing it, and then using it like a needle to pull it through. We'll see if we can get it through with the other string that's already in there. I don't know if it'll work, but we'll try. All right, move out of the way, string. All right, can do it. We can do it. Come on. Come on, string. Get it all untangled. Are you going in at all? Come on. Let me see if I grab some needle nose pliers. I might be able to pull it through. If not, we're going to have to figure something else out. I just don't think the bead's quite big enough. Okay, so that leads me to show you something else. So now, if you have beads that aren't big enough, let me show you a remedy. Let me grab it out of my drawer here. It is what's called a bead reamer. Where's he at? Where are you at? Here it is. So it looks like this. It's basically like a little metal file, and it's smaller at the end here and larger at the end here. So if you end up having beads that the hole is just not big enough to pull your stuff through, you literally can just take these and file them because they are plastic. So these are what are called acrylic beads. They're basically plastic. So you can go in here and just file and make that hole slightly bigger. And it doesn't take much. Let's see if I can show you. We're getting there. Woo! But yeah, I'm just filing it and making the hole slightly bigger. Okay, so we can see this hole is getting slightly bigger than this one. And we don't need it to be really big, we just need it slightly bigger. So you see I'm just kind of cleaning the hole out. Now I'll change to the other side and we'll see if this works. Because I shouldn't have to shave. It was like so close to going in that I think that just shaving it down a tiny bit will really help get your beads past. So there's always a workaround in the crafting world. If we can't make it work, we'll find a way. Okay, shaving's all over my hand. Perfect. Clean that off, and then let's try again to see if we can get it to pull through. If not, then I give up. We'll give up for this time being, but this is the first one, so that one should pull through pretty easily. Perfect. Okay, and now let's try this string. Oh my goodness, come on. All right, one more try, and if not, then it is what it is. Oh, it felt like it went through better that time. It's going. Come on, I got you. Yeah, it went. Come on, you're almost there. I can feel it. It's right there. Ugh. Okay, it's right there. It's going through. I can just pull it out now. Okay, so now I've got it through, so I just need to pull the one side through. See if I can get this needle thing off. It's all twisted now. There we go. Ended up twisting. There we go. Okay, we'll give it one more good yank. Come on, you got this. Now I just need to figure out which one is the one to pull. So this seems like this is a little difficult, so keep in mind when you're buying the twine what thickness your twine is Or keep in mind the size of the hole on your bead, in the sense that you may have to ream it out a little bit. Okay, this is not gonna work, so we're gonna give up on this. We're gonna take this bead off and we're just gonna say it was a good day. Maybe, or maybe I can get it on there, man. It's like so close. You know how frustrating it is when you're like right there. That's the stubborn crafter in me that doesn't want to give up on it. Okay, we're done. We're cutting it off. It is what it is. You get the concept. If you want to put a bead on it, you know, it might be a little bit of work. We're done with that. We're gonna just put some twine on it and move on from the beads. So you live and you learn sometimes. Okay, so we're gonna grab some twine. We're gonna start over and we're just gonna put some beautiful twine on it and call it a day. Fold your twine in half. Put the two ends through the front here. You've got your end over here. Put those two ends through that. Ta-da! And if you want, you can tie a little knot up here to make it like more of an ornament. Fabulous. Okay, and there you go, you guys. We've got this beautiful fall table decor. Fall vibes. You can get it matching so that your plates and napkins and everything match. You can put the year on here, maybe your table settings person's name on here. You can put whatever you want on here. And, you know, if you're adventurous, you might be able to get some beads on there. I was not. All right, so that is it for our napkin. We've got this other one over here still drying, so that's how long it takes, guys, to dry. It takes a little bit of time, so definitely give it time. This one probably still has another hour, so I'd say just do them all one night and then maybe the next day come back to them. These are the ones I did last night before bed. You can see there's texture on them, so you can either have this beautiful texture feel, which is wonderful, or you can go ahead and add that coat of UV resin and make them nice and glossy. So definitely options. Let's go on back over to our acrylic blank badge reel. We've got our beautiful Christmas snack. We're going to add a clear coat of UV resin right onto this beauty to seal all of this glitter work in. You want to make sure that this Mod Podge is 100% dry before we move on to the next step. The easiest thing is to wait, but because we're live, that's not really much of an option for me. So I'm going to hit it with my heat gun just to triple check that it is completely dry. I don't want any chance of any moisture being caught between the layer of UV resin and the actual acrylic blank. So I'm just going to hit it for about 30 seconds over here with my heat gun. So I apologize for the noise. Okay, I think that is enough. I just wanted to really make sure it was completely dry. So I just hit it with the heat gun, not too long, just a tiny bit. All right, and now we're gonna spread some UV resin on it. Now, if you're going to use something like a heat gun to dry it like I just did, let it cool down. Make sure, you know, it's not boiling hot. So I'm just letting it kind of cool off in my hands before we add that UV resin. Cool down. Okay, much cooler. Perfect. Now it's cool. We're gonna put that coat of UV resin right on top of this beautiful glitter. And we're gonna use our silicone brush here to spread it out. Now you shouldn't have to worry about the glitter. Once this coat of Mod Podge plus glitter mixture is fully dry, it's not gonna move anywhere. You don't have to worry like you're gonna pull it with the brush when you're spreading the UV resin around. So don't stress about that. It's on there. Okay, so I'm just pulling from the center and pulling it into the more intricate areas of my badge reel. Just getting a nice, even, thin coat all over it. Perfect, almost done. Great. Okay, now the last thing I always remind you is to go right around the edges. It does seem sometimes that is where the UV resin will pull away from, and I'll end up having little missed areas. So I do like to go around one last time and make sure it looks beautiful. Now typically I don't worry about any micro bubbles or any little baby imperfections on the back of my acrylic blank here because most of it will end up being covered up with the physical badge reel. But if you are going to be doing something maybe like a magnet or, a pin back, and you are super worried about it being just right, you know that you can use the heat on the smaller acrylic blanks like this as well. It's totally an option. Okay, next up, we're going to toss this bad boy under our UV lamp here for 2 minutes. Now, don't forget to put on your mask before we do that. And there we go, guys. This bad boy is going to cook under the lamp here for 2 minutes. And when it comes out, we'll move on to decorating the front of the blank. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? Let's see. I was late. Of the idea. Yes, Pam. Pam, that might look really cool if you use like a clear acrylic blank, and it might create like a stained glass window kind of effect. If it did that, that'd be awesome. I would love to hear if you try that, Pam. That might be really cool. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for all the hearts. Now, if you guys are not subscribed, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel here. We are on the road to 1,000 followers. We just hit 199 before I went live, so we are inching our way along. It helps me so much if you subscribe while we build this channel up over here. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Okay, it says we have 40 minutes, 40 seconds left under the clock here. Let's talk about reality TV for a moment. I have still yet to watch Survivor. I'm trying to let some episodes build up. I have been watching Big Brother. It was a great episode the other night. And let's see, we finished the Menendez brothers. I believe I said that last week. This week, I have been watching a show called Accused, Innocent, or Guilty. It's on A&E. And it follows people after their crime all the way through trial, all the way through their verdict. And that's really interesting. I really like that show. I'm super excited to start Love is Blind Season 7. I know they've dropped 6 episodes so far, but I have not gotten to them. So that is next on my list to watch. It's on my want to try. Nice. I love it. Okay, let's clean up this stick. You literally can just pop it right off. Anything silicone will not adhere to the UV resin or epoxy. Once it is fully cured, it will just peel off like butter. Let's have a look. Look, I'm trying to use it. Look at how stunning. Oh, she is beauty. Okay. Let's take the brown paper off the other side so we can really see what the color is looking like. You know, it's a hard situation. I have to say that I believe they should be behind bars. mainly because they went back out to the car to reload. That right there tells me that, like, they really wanted them dead. It wasn't like they were in fear of their life. It wasn't like they were running away from them. Like, they wanted them dead. All right, here is what she's looking like. Look at that color. It's like a beautiful ruby red, and then the gloss on the back. Oh, stunning. Okay, let's go ahead and get our area clean here. And then we will start on the front of the badge reel. Perfect. Okay, so here is the front. We're gonna grab some transfer tape and transfer that pre-printed decal right on the front. I watched Love is Blind UK. I wanna say there's 2 seasons out, or maybe there's a second season. I've only watched 1 season, so I'm not sure if there's 2 seasons or there's a second season coming, but I did watch 1 season of Love is Blind UK. And, you know, they had a lot less drama than us, which is okay. But I mean, I am here for the drama. There's a huge flag guy on. Are you gonna say red flag guy, or what do you? I don't know what you're saying. There's a huge. Oh, red. Oh, I couldn't see it because it was behind the heart, and I'm like, did she say a huge red flag? Is that what she's trying to say? Oh, that's exciting. I think I'm gonna try to watch it tonight. I'm gonna try to get at least a couple episodes to watch. That's like on my list of things to do for a Saturday. But I haven't watched it. Oh, a huge red flag. Brother is giving away. I know, Ted. I know. And I'm like, what are you doing, Mackenzie? Like, come on, these people aren't your friends. Don't you want the money? All right, here is what she's looking like. Looking like a snack. Here's that beautiful red back. Let's go ahead and put a clear coat of UV resin right on top of this. Oh, okay. I was like, I can't remember if it had 2 seasons, but I think it said that there's another season on its way, which is exciting. But yeah, I really like the UK one. It was good. There's so many on there now. I think there's like Japan on there. I want to say there's, what was the other one I saw on there? Italy or something? I don't know. There's a lot of Love is Blinds on there, and I'm kind of like, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of dubbed over stuff. So unless they speak English, I typically have a hard time watching them, mostly because I read the subtitles and I'm already trying to do that and watch. So it can get complicated. But yeah, I usually just watch the ones that are in English. But I did see a couple other ones on there. She is looking cute. Just trying to make sure everything looks good. Perfect. I'm going to hit it with a little bit of heat to pop any micro bubbles that might be right on top. And then we always give it about 10-20 seconds to cool down before we decide if we want to pop more bubbles or if she is ready to go under the lamp. I'm just touching up a couple little areas I can see. Let's see, what else did I watch? Oh, I've been watching this comedy called How to Die Alone. It's on Hulu, I believe. And that's pretty funny. I watched, what else did we watch this week? I watched the season finale of Plathville. Welcome to Plathville, which I felt kind of was like an abrupt end. So I'm like, is that really the season finale? Because it kind of just ended. And then of course I had to like dive into this deep rabbit hole of who the heck is Mariah dating / not dating, and I found him. So if you want to know those deets, you can always hit me up. I figured out who her secret boyfriend was. All right, let's light it up here briefly across, just popping any of those last little bubbles. We're going to give it about 10-20 seconds to cool down. And then we're going to pop this bad boy underneath our UV lamp here. Let's see, what else did I watch? I watched the new episode of Sister Wives. Now, what I can say about this season of Sister Wives is they didn't film anything. They didn't film a goddamn thing. All that is on this season of Sister Wives is recapping how sad Cody is and how everybody's moved on with their lives and he's whining and whining and whining. But it doesn't seem like they really filmed any new footage. If you watched, I think it's this last week's episode, there's like a little scene where he's playing like Jenga with his kids. It is so staged, so horrible. So, you know, if you're missing out on this season of Sister Wives, don't worry, you ain't really missing much. They're just yapping. They're not doing anything exciting. Let's see, what else have I been watching? 90 Day Fiancé, I'm pretty caught up on. If you haven't seen Tiger Lily and Adnan's wedding, it is legit the best wedding as far as finances go that I have seen on the 90 Day franchise. So check that out. That is on the before the 90 days. Let's see, what else? I've been watching a lot of Live PD. I love me some OP Nation. On Patrol Live is always has my heart. I went to a baby shower this week, and I went out to this Asian buffet, which who knew buffets were even back after COVID, but we went, and it was a disappointment. It was pretty, like, wonk, wonk. I wasn't loving it, and I was like, well, what did I expect? It was a buffet. The other thing I wanted to show you guys was, you know, if you don't have the ability to cut out like an SVG like this, if you don't own a Cricut, Silhouette, Brother Scan and Cut, you can use Sharpies on our blanks, and you can literally write the person's name on there if you have like really good calligraphy skills. You could write people's, or you could write fall vibes, or you could draw on our acrylic blanks. And then once they are fully dried, the Sharpie has fully dried, you can put UV resin over it and it will not smear Sharpie. So, and Sharpies come in like tons of colors now, so there's lots of options to choose from for your Sharpie delight. Okay, we're all done under the lamp. Let's take a look and see how it is turning out. Let's see. Okay. Trying to get everything cleaned up over here so I can work with you guys. Okay, we can, like I said, just pull that UV resin right off of your brush, and you have a clean brush to use. Here is that adorable little guy. So cute. With that beautiful red on the back. So good. Let's add him onto a badge reel. But first, we're going to add on some beads. So we're going to add on a little Jack Skellington Santa Claus and a little green solid number. What you're going to do is you're going to pull the string out on your badge reel, and you're going to either use a little clamp like this to secure the string from going back inside, or you can kind of wrap it on top of it and put some tape. The main thing is you don't want this string to go back inside. If it goes back inside, you essentially have to throw the badge reel away. There's really no way to get the string back out. So be mindful. Now you're going to cut it off right at the end here. You've got this little end cap, and you've got that black string still in there because you just cut it off. You can just push it down into the fixture with like a needle or a pick tool like this, and then turn it sideways. There's a little triangle here that has a hole that goes into it. You're going to stick your needle or pick tool down into that hole and kind of scoop out that black string that you just pushed down into the hole. Now this part can be a little tricky, so please have some patience. And if not, I can talk to you about another way to do it. So let me just try to get it out this way, and if not, I'll show you the other way. Okay. Now, since I haven't shown it on here in a very long time, I'm going to show you an alternative way if you're really struggling with getting that black string out. Now, what you're going to need is you're going to need some needle nose pliers, preferably 2 pair. And what you're going to do is you're going to grab it on the side of your triangle here. and I'll get closer in just one second. You're gonna grab it like this. So you've got both sides. Oh, let's see if I can focus. So you're grabbing it on this side, and then you're gonna grab it on the other side. I don't know if it'll focus for you guys, but, and then you're gonna pull it apart. Pull it apart, and see, it's now come off. Now you have a much easier ability to go ahead and pull that black string out because this little triangle is not in the way. So if you really feel that you're struggling, you can just use some needle nose pliers like that and then just pull this out. And this should be significantly easier once you get that little triangle out. But you know, sometimes it's still tricky. There's like a piece of plastic in there, you can see. That didn't get like punched out all the way, so let me just clean out that plasticky part. Push it down in and scoop it on out. Come on. So even with the triangle out, you may find that this is not the easiest, so you know, just have some patience. Feel like my hands have gotten shaky over the years, and so I don't have the dexterity I used to have, but that's okay. We just have to have patience. There we go. Ta-da! Fabulous. So this little black guy has come out. Thank you so much for your service. Into the trash. Into the trash. Now we can go ahead and add on our 2 beads to the string here. Oops. Make sure you put it on so it's not upside down. Fabulous. And now we can string it back through this little piece right here. If you have a hard time stringing it on, you can use our bead needle. It is a thin little flexible needle that really helps pull this string right back through. Perfect. Okay, and now we can tie a knot in the end here. Right at the end, you're going to tie a knot. Okay, and it doesn't have to be all the way at the end. It can be a little bit up. It's fine. And then the second one is what I really want you to pay more attention to. You're going to land that knot right on top of the first knot. We're trying to build up like a chunky knot, so this one might take a little bit more patience to land it right on top of it or right next to it. So just take your time with the knots at this point. Perfect. Okay, now we can pull that right into our little end cap here. And any extra black string like this that's hanging out, we can just chop right off. Okay, and then the last step is we're going to add that little triangle piece back. So let's grab it again on the sides with our needle nose pliers, one on each side. Now this part can be tricky because you only have 2 hands. So what I do is I take it and I put the one side in the hole on the side of this, so that when I do grab and kind of hold it sideways, so it's like balancing on there like that. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. See how it's like balancing on that triangle, and I'm going to hold it like this. And then I'm just going to grab that other triangle and push the 2 triangles back together. And, oops, sorry, I did it off camera, sorry. Push them back in together so that they're back in the holes. Okay, so now it is back in the hole. It's not moving anywhere. There's that black string, and it's gone right into it. Okay, so definitely doable if you're having a hard time getting that string out, and you can remove the triangle. It's just a little bit of extra work. Okay, last step, we're gonna hold onto our string and take this little clamp off and allow that to go right back in. And now we have these beautiful little beads on our badge reel. Now, I didn't pick out a badge button for this one, so let's see if we can find one together. Maybe I'll do one of these little Santas. These are cute. So this little Santa badge button, I think will go on there. Perfect, right there. Now you can adhere it with whatever you feel comfortable, whether it be E6000 or super glue or UV resin, whatever floats your boat. I happen to use UV resin, that way I can fully cure it and show you a finished project right here on the live. However, many people use many things, so feel free to use whatever makes you comfortable. Now I just put a small dollop of UV resin and I'm just taking my badge button and putting it right on top of that. Now I do want to make sure that this button is on the top here, never on the bottom silver button, because you don't want your customer to not be able to close their badge reel. Now I'm just hitting it with a UV flashlight for 10-15 seconds. I'm just kind of quickly curing it. This isn't a permanent cure. This is just so it doesn't like move around on me. Next, we're gonna do the exact same with the top here. We're gonna put a tiny bit of UV resin onto it. Then I'm gonna take my acrylic blanket and I'm gonna move it in some circular motions like this to spread that UV resin out all over that front of the badge reel right there and the back of my acrylic blank. And then I'm gonna line it up to make sure it is straight and just the way I want it. And again, I'm gonna hit it with that UV flashlight. Maybe 10-20 seconds, just quickly curing it so it doesn't move when I put it under the actual UV light. Okay, looking good. We're gonna put it under the UV light. I like to put it under the UV light for 60 seconds on one side, and then I'll flip it over and we'll do the 60 seconds on the opposite side. Okay. What other shows do you guys recommend that I have not listed? I am definitely looking for new shows. Oh, there's another new show that just came out called High Potential. And I believe she has the ability to like hyper fixate and like see things. She's like a cleaner, like she cleans the police department, like mops, sweeps, all that. And then she saw the like board with all their cases on it, and she has this like ability to like solve the cases. So that's called High Potential, and that is on Hulu. I've only watched one episode of that so far, but so far it was pretty cute. So that's definitely one I want to check out. Another one. It's called, what is that show called? There's another one, Lie to Me, I think is what it's called, and it's on Hulu, and it's pretty good too. So I would check that one out. What do you guys think? You guys got any suggestions for me in regards to new shows? I know I watch a lot, so it's hard to suggest things, but if you have any suggestions, I am open to it. Now, if for some reason you guys were not with us live last week, here is what we created. We made the Boo Boo Crew badge reel with some bite beads and a little flower badge button. That is the Boo Boo Crew. And we also made the Empowered Women. So this is the Empowered Women, Empower Women. We use this beautiful chrome flakes on the back. Look at those colors, you guys. Stunning. Oh, I have not watched the Matlock yet. Is it any good? So this is what we created last week, guys. So cute. Both of these are up. This was last week's live, so if you want to watch how we created this, go ahead and check those out. I will link it at the end of this video. Okay, we've got about 10 seconds left under the clock here. We're almost done. And we could take a look at our finished projects. I want to say thank you to everybody who joined us. We are live every Saturday from 10:30 a.m. to noon Eastern time. So make sure to come back and join us next weekend if you enjoyed what you saw. Let's take a look at the finished project, guys. Ooh, okay, I'll have to check it out. Yes, me too, Mary, me too. Okay, so here is our finished project. This is the the Christmas snack, looking torn between looking like a snack and eating one. We've got the Jack Skellington bead on here with the little Santa as well. So stinking cute, guys. And look at that red on the back. Ooh-wee. All right, and then the next one we created was our napkin one. Here it is, beautiful, stunning pumpkins, sunflower with all of the fall vibes on it. And thank you guys so much for joining us today. It was a great live. I hope you all have a fabulous week. It does sound like there might be another hurricane heading towards Florida, so if you're in Florida on the Gulf Coast, please be safe. And if not, I will see you guys all next week. I hope you have a great week. Bye, guys.